think a lot of the times, this is something which I personally struggle with, is that I find it quite hard to accept the fact that I'm actually sometimes happy. And this is this very strange thing, because happiness, like a lot of the times people say happiness is a state which we experience, which comes and goes with the passage of time, and that's fine. But I find myself many times questioning the fact that I'm actually happy. So, for example, if I'm just having a day where everything is going okay, work is fine, I'm relating with people around me okay, if I think about my life in general, I can't really see any large problem which is happening to me, any major concern which I'm having. And so as a result, I have a sense of, I don't know, chippiness or happiness about me. And yet, when this emotion arises in me, I immediately begin questioning it. So, it's not the case that I'm actually sad about something. It's just that because I'm happy, I immediately become skeptical of that. Because I think I'm afraid about, or I suppose just like me, maybe other people might experience this as well, which is that we get afraid at just accepting the fact that things are actually okay. Because I think if we accept the fact that things are actually okay, then what may risk happening is that things may not be okay eventually. And when they're not okay eventually, then it will be so scary to face that painful feeling of, having almost your heart broken or having your emotions deeply hurt, that what you would do instead is just not entertain the happiness. Just ignore it, suppress it, don't acknowledge it, because if you anchor on it, you may get attached to it, and if you get attached to it, then it may get taken away from you, and if it gets taken away from you, then you may experience the same pain which you've been dreading all along. And this is a strange thing to experience, because a lot of the times we're told to be sort of happy, and I suppose if you're someone like me, you can be like, well, I don't really trust that because this is just an emotion anyway, and who cares, this is something which is fleeting, it will come and go, and it will dissipate with the passage of time, and so why should I anchor on it when something is so impermanent? But there is a sense of accepting the fact that you're happy sometimes, and when you can't even accept the fact that you're happy sometimes, and you want to really resist it, you want to resist it so much that it's actually painful to just have this sense of protectiveness around you constantly, not letting any kind of excitement and not letting any kind of happiness in. Because again, I think there's this underlying fear which we have, which is that if I actually let this go, then something really bad is going to happen to me. If someone took this away from me, something really bad will happen to me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the times I find myself being happy. Today would be one of those days, especially at certain moments, and there were some sad moments too, but I was generally quite happy. Actually, for the past couple of days, even weeks, I've been quite happy, I think. And so when I find myself in that particular state, immediately this sense of cynicism comes in, and the cynicism is basically fear masquerading as insight or into truth or what reality is like or what life is really like. And I just think it's fear, and I think it can be helpful to be mindful of that, and it can be helpful to not take that too seriously. And most importantly, I think it can be helpful to allow yourself to feel happy when you do, because happiness is a natural emotion which arises within us, just like sadness is a natural emotion which arises within us, and all the other array of emotions, I don't know. But my point is that whenever we suppress a particular emotion, that's when things begin to go a bit haywire. And so maybe if you're like a kind of brooding type, as I tend to be from time to time, you might think, well, I'm sad, I'll just brood myself. I'll just brood and I'll just kind of get into this, and this is a kind of way of accepting things and the reality of life and all of that. And that's fine, like that's totally okay to do that, and you're good for doing that. But also, what about the happiness? Like that's also an emotion, and that's as real as the sadness. So if we're creating space for the sadness, why not create space for the happiness, and allowing that to touch us as well, and allowing that to just exist within us, because that's just another emotion which is arising within our sort of sense of being. And I don't think anything terrible is going to happen. And even if it does, that's okay. Because if you're someone like me, you have the kind of feeling the sad part figured out anyway. So it's fine. Allow yourself to feel happy, because when you do, you feel happy. And when you really resist it, then you're just not accepting what's arising within you. And that's not nice, because especially if it's a pleasant emotion, why not let yourself experience that? And then you can be cynical about it later. But for a bit as it arises, at least let yourself experience that. So yeah, I guess this is sort of what my topic is today, which is just this idea that if you're feeling happy, allow yourself to feel happy. You don't necessarily have to resist it. And it can be about the most ridiculous thing. It can be about the fact that, I don't know, you clocked something at work, or like someone was kind of nice to you and that made you feel warm, or the fact that you just saw some interesting thing happen when you were just like on your way to work, on your way back from work, or just at the shops, or I don't know, it could be anything. So yeah, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is that when you feel happy, be happy, and don't be overly cynical about your happiness, and nothing terrible is gonna happen. And you know what, even if it does, it's okay. Like, you deal with it when it arises. For the time being, if something good is arising within you, let it arise within you. And that's that, basically.